Hi everybody, welcome back to the final video in our short series of travelling abroad for the first time with your caravan. Now up to this point you would have seen me booking the holiday, things that we need to prepare, things we need to buy, things we need to do. But this video is after the event. We've come back, as you can see I'm sat here in storage, and in this video I thought I would talk about my anxiety, the issues that I had. Maybe they were upheld, maybe they were unfounded, my irrational fears about going abroad, things that prevented me from taking our caravan abroad for so many years. Now these fears are completely irrational, but they may resonate with you because you may be thinking in the back of your head, I can't do it because of. So I thought in this video we'll go through a list of my irrational fears, things that I was a little bit nervous about, things that I thought I couldn't do, and I thought we'll go through them and then we'll answer the questions and the queries whether they're any good. So let's start off with travelling to the ferry port. Yes, surprisingly, towing through Plymouth city centre made me a little bit nervous. Towing through an unknown city with complex junctions, other road users and navigating our way to the port was troubling me. But in fact, I had nothing to worry about. I even ignored the sat-nav. The ferry port is really well signposted all the way from the A38, and even specific directions are laid out for larger vehicles such as HGVs and caravans. Plymouth was actually a breeze to navigate through, and if you do travel from Plymouth, rest assured there is nothing to worry about. Now my travelling companion decided to ignore all the signs and trust his sat-nav, and as it turned out he pulled up just behind me, just on the entrance to the ferry port, and he told me it was really easy, with dual carriageway all the way down to where we met up. So Plymouth, well, that's a big tick from me, nothing to worry about. Now once at the port we waited about 2 hours before getting our tickets, passport control and then security, and once through all of that it was time to board the ferry. This was perhaps my second biggest irrational fear. Making our way onto the boat actually couldn't have been simpler. Clear directions from the deck marshals, a flat and easy transition between the dock and the boat, it was another big tick from me. So this was a 9-hour crossing and we were advised to switch off the car alarm as the swaying from the boat will cause the tilt centre trigger and set the car alarm off. This can flatten the battery, and although we did see 4 cars with flat batteries on the ferry, the crew are well rehearsed and able to sort vehicles out and get them going once again. We also disconnected the caravan electrics from the car and applied the handbrake. So another big thing that we were worried about was how Angela was going to handle this crossing. This was an overnight crossing, so how did she fare up? Well, roughly 2 hours before we set sail, Angela took some seasick tablets that we'd purchased from Boots a number of weeks before. They seemed to do all right, actually. Angela took those, we got on the ferry, had a quick walk around, a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and then we were straight into the cabin and she was out like a light. Me, on the other hand, different story. I've usually got a really good constitution, I've got sea legs and I'm usually okay. But falling asleep, well, trying to fall asleep on the ferry and laying down was a bit of a problem for me because we were constantly doing this and it was just not riding right. So I spent most of my evening sat bolt upright. The ferry wasn't really rolling very much, it wasn't very rough, it was a fairly smooth crossing, but going there and coming back, it was no problems at all, but it just unsettled me and made me feel a little bit nauseous for most of the journey. So the cabin was a 4-berth cabin and it had drinks and it had a TV, but I'll be absolutely honest with you, the only thing we took advantage of was the extra space. The drinks remained unclaimed and the TV remained off until the morning when I wanted to see where we were. Apart from that, we just used the extra space. And I'll be honest with you, I'm glad we did because it was a lovely space that we could mill around and just walk around each other. The shower, by the way, was fantastic, really very good. So in the morning, it was a beautiful morning. The sun was just golden. It was lovely as we were docking into Roscoff. We managed to grab a quick breakfast and then we headed down onto the vehicle deck, ready to disembark. And I'll be honest with you, navigating our way through the port, well, it couldn't have been simpler. You could only go one way. You couldn't worry about driving on the left or driving on the right. It was only one way. And we made our way over to passport control, ready to leave the dock. So once through passport control, we set off to our campsite, and a quick mention to every single one of you that said you're going to be fine, the roads are great, you've got nothing to worry about, blah blah blah. Yeah, you know what? You're completely correct. 100% accurate. It's easy. It's really easy. I cannot express how easy it is. The only issue I had though was for about the first 15 minutes or so was just getting my position correct on the road and making sure I was doing the correct speed. The first roundabout was really easy to navigate, and you know what? Going through the little towns was an absolute breeze. I did find the RAC website really useful, explaining what the road symbols meant and what I should do. Perhaps the most confusing one of all is the priority à droite, which means I should give way to the right. It's confusing, it's silly, and we did encounter this on the route to the campsite. Roads did get narrow, and there were a few residential areas with traffic calming schemes, so I took it really steady and we arrived in plenty of time. I will say, driving on the continent is far easier than you could ever possibly imagine. Don't overthink it, just brush up on some of the road signs and it's a big green tick from me. The campsite we stayed at was Camping des Abers. It's right in the top left-hand corner of Brittany. It's a beautiful site right next to the breach. It was a fab location. Was it any different to UK sites? Well, no, not really. The facilities were a little bit more European with the use of tokens for the showers, but everything was as you would expect. We did have two issues with the site, however. One was the very slow water tap, and the other was the electric hookup that when under heavy use, the voltage would sink below 200 volts. Not usually a problem, but the fridge did have a head fit when the voltage dropped. Now, if you're worried about speaking the local language, you need not worry. My French is pretty poor, as you've probably already heard. But I gave it a go, and to my surprise, I was able to hold a very awkward conversation with a market stall holder talking about the price of their produce. In fact, if you give it a go, the locals really do appreciate it. The phrase that will always help is "Parlez-vous anglais?" And of course, using tools like Google Translate and Google Lens really do help. Where we stayed, the shops closed at midday and opened again at 2:30, and this worked really well for us. It meant that in the morning it would be shop mode, and then a walk on a cafe during the lunch break, and then an afternoon of sightseeing once again. Now, this is one element of the holiday I was hoping I didn't experience, but in a weird way, I'm kind of glad I did. If you saw our recent upload, you'll be well aware of what happened to us on our return trip from France and that the tow ball wouldn't engage back into the car. Now, I was treated really well, and that is down to two elements. One being prepared for events like this, having everything ready before you go, and also being properly covered with comprehensive travel insurance. It did teach me a thing or two on how to be better prepared and having a list of possessions in the caravan. Proper cover though, it goes a long way for when things do go bad. So there we go. I hope this video, and indeed this series, has been useful for you. Specifically this video, I hope it's answered a lot of questions. I hope it's quashed a lot of fears and anxiety points. I hope that it's given you the confidence to give it a go yourself. You know, there is no need to worry. There is no need to panic. Just be prepared and take your time. And to be honest with you, you're going to have such a fantastic time. What about us? Are we going to go again? Yeah, definitely. In fact, we're going to do something a bit different next year. We've got a couple of ideas in our head. We're either going to go further south into France, or we're going to go completely the opposite direction and we're going to head east into Europe, maybe even north. We'll see. But definitely we want to do more. We've gotten the bug now. We really do miss the food already. We really miss the culture and the beautiful landscapes. So yes, it's something that we're going to carry on doing. So watch out what we'll be up to next year. Now, if you are still a little bit unsure about this, if you're still thinking to yourself, I just can't do it, I just need something else, maybe I need to go with a friend, or maybe I need to go as part of a group. Well, you know what? I picked this up at the NEC. This is the 2026 Escorted European and UK Tours. These are fantastic. You know, there's a section here specifically designed for people who are going abroad for the first time. They provide a fantastic experience to go into Brittany or Normandy. They give you training, they prep you, they give you the full-blown experience of what it's going to be like, what to expect when you get to the other side. That for me is fantastic. Okay, they're not cheap, but do you know what? If you want to give it a go, if you really want to give it a go, but you're just a little bit, I don't think I can do it, you know, check out this. I've put a link to this web page down below of the Escorted Tours, because, you know, there's some fantastic tours in there, and we were thumbing through ourselves because they provide other escorted tours as well. And we may be going to the Netherlands. We don't know, but we would love to give it a go. So there we go. I hope this video has been useful for you. I hope this series has been inspirational for you. If you've got any questions or comments, put them down in the comment section down below. I'll be happy to read them and respond to them where I can. So there you go, guys. Many thanks for watching. Please do hit the subscribe button, hit the notification icon if you can do all that. I'll see you in the next upload. Thanks, everybody. Take care now. Bye-bye.